by 1 frame to nil.
Well, Tom Ford came through that very scrappy opening frame. So important to get off to a good start against Ronnie. Tom Ford has beaten O'Sullivan, although it doesn't really count in the head-to-heads. It was in the shootout a couple of years ago. Ronnie has won both their matches in the traditional playing format.
Foul and a miss. Tom Ford 6.
That's the pink first there.
It's touching ball.
Tom will be absolutely delighted to have got that first frame on the board, especially after making a couple of mistakes. The ball being put back. And O'Sullivan will have to have another go. No mistake the second time of asking. He's quite demonstrative, Tom Ford, isn't he? You can read quite a lot into his body language around the table, for good and bad.
Yes, you can, and I suppose we've seen a bit of it in the last frame where he wasn't happy with a couple of shots he played, and he nodded a little bit, you know, in disgust, and I'm not a big fan of that. You know, your opponent's looking at you, you always have the little sly glance over, and if you can see your opponent nodded and he's not happy, it fills you up with a little bit of hope and a bit of inspiration. So a lot of great players out there manage to hide their feelings, whether they're feeling ecstatic or real disappointed with what they've done. But Tom's one of these ones, he does show his emotions.
One.
Well, I bet he can't believe he's found all the gaps there. He'll have expected a cannon here. He's found the gap up and back. Now he's faced with a tricky safety shot. I mean, he could go for the tricky blue into the middle pocket. He'd only have to concentrate on the pot. White's going to come back towards the red, to the left corner. But it's a big shot. Well, he's really unfortunate there because he's made the blue.
1, 7, 5.
Very unfortunate. This looks a real thin snick, this one to the right corner, but it's got to be worth a look at. And he's going to go for it. This is as thin as he can hit it. Oh, he's hit that all wrong. He's hit that half ball way too thick. He had to near enough play to miss that completely. Get the thinnest of edges. He knew halfway down the table with the cue ball, he knew that was too thick. This is not easy by any means. A lot of distance between cue ball and red. Dead straight. A lot of pace.
1.
It's gone in. It wasn't a clean pot, and hence that's why he's not quite on the pink. But you wouldn't believe he could get that kind of an angle from that red there. Just come across it a little bit. And he's overcut the pink. This is not the Ronnie at the moment we're used to seeing.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Well, the defending champion and 4-time winner of the Welsh Open, just taking some time to settle down here.
1.
Neither of them really playing their best, despite the fact that Tom took that first frame. Were you a bit surprised, Darren, that maybe Ronnie didn't take that one on where he put Tom back in?
Yeah, it was. You could have played it as a shot to nothing, and obviously Tom played it terrible, and hence missed it. You just can't believe what's going on at the minute. If this red goes past the pink, he put all his eggs in one basket there. Bit of desperation there through the poor shot he played the shot before, so this has been a real funny start. He's open for it, and that's even worse. What's going on?
Shake of the head from O'Sullivan in his chair. Well, both of them will be getting frustrated with the way they're performing here in front of a good crowd at the Motor Point. It's one of the most prestigious titles out there, and it's not happening for either of them at the moment here in these first 20 or 30 minutes. Darren, just explain from a player's perspective what happens and how a scenario unfolds where you hear pros coming away from a match saying we dragged each other down. Just how does that actually happen?
Well, obviously at the moment both players are still a little bit nervy. You know, you might expect it from Tom Ford. You wouldn't expect it definitely from Ronnie O'Sullivan. And you know, he's played a great shot. That's a bit of frustration there, and he's played a shot to nothing with that double there. But you know, it wouldn't surprise me now if he didn't go on, because he's that type of a player, Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's missed a couple of unbelievable balls, which would normal players wreck for the rest of the match. But he's one of these players that he could then turn around, have one moment of brilliance, and then just clear the table, and he's back on point. But this has been a real strange start. And you are right, you know, you can get dragged in if you allow yourself to be dragged in. But both players will be frustrated that they've had good chances and they've just not done anything with them.
15.
What I will say, it is very, very hard out there. It's very tough. You know, first round. This is where the money is. This is where the points is. You know, obviously, Tom Ford is in a different position to Ronnie O'Sullivan. And these points for him are massive, and also the money is massive for him. Whereas Ronnie, you know, every year he picks up a couple of real nice checks and he's always thereabouts, so it doesn't sort of affect him as much as it affects some of the lower players down.
21. Okay, 22.
Yes, we have a whole wealth of new tournaments emerging on the calendar under the guidance of Barry Hearn. A lot more prize money available, but you have to win it to get it in your bank account.
29.
And it is quite difficult for some of the lower ranked players to make ends meet.
30.
Just couldn't agree with you more, Rob, but what I will say is if you are a good player and you get your game right and you turn up and you play, there is a lot of opportunities now available
7.
for everybody and a lot of money to be earned. You know, these young lads now that are coming into the game, you know, it wasn't that long ago, unless you was one of the real top players, top 4 or top 8, yeah, you made a living. It wasn't a great living. Now, you know, they can set themselves up for the rest of their lives if they get the game together and they play consistent, which has got to be a good thing. At the end of the day, they have got professional in front of their name, so, you know, they should be in a position where they can earn money and sort of take care of the future.
45. 46. 53.
'Played that one as a
27,
shot to nothing.
53.
He didn't quite get a cannon to test through the leg, but in the normal circumstances I don't think he'd have played that red there. That was a little bit of frustration crept in. But it was better from Ronnie. Still enough there for Tom Ford.
Tom Ford shaking his head, scratching his face as he looks at the options before him. Still 67 on, 5 reds. Needs to remind himself he is leading this match. It has been a really strange 35 minutes or so. So much snooker being played in the first few days because we are the open 1-2-8 format. Joe Perry and Anthony McGill playing on the next table. Over a minute pondering his move here. Can't afford to make a mistake here because he is a long way adrift in this frame. Red to middle right is available if he fancies it. Ronnie fairly close to sealing this frame.
1. Free.
Red and a colour. Would have levelled things up. Tom Ford requires snookers. Ronnie will want to unequivocally put this frame out of sight.
11. 12. 19. 20. 27. Running 7, 27, and
Well,
the
we
frame.
thought that was going to drop for just a second. Doesn't matter. After another scrappy frame, Ronnie has levelled the scores. It's 1 apiece.